Welcome. This is the upper deck for Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm Chris. I'm here with Lynn, and oh boy, this has been a week. I know that about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I started the show by saying what a pleasure it was to be a Yankee fan, to be rooting for a team that was firing on all cylinders, that was winning. It was fun. It was a fun time to be a Yankee fan. Lynn, the times they are changing.
They're changed. They're not even
changing.
They're changed, and it's wearing on everybody. It started wearing on the fan base weeks ago at this point, and there's a lot of genuine worry now, even for those of us that are hardcore Yogi ain't over till it's over people.
Exactly. And there's, chants in the stand, fire boon, fire boon. I mean, of course, I've been chanting that since I heard him. It's becoming louder, and people are joining in now.
Yeah. And they're all throwing bottles at Hicks when he's in the game, and they're not happy. It doesn't take much to make Yankee fans unhappy.
Oh, no.
But there are plenty of fans that are tweeting during the game. I shut it off after the third inning. I got better things. I just can't take it. Better things to do. Or I'm not watching, period.
Yeah.
Or, our chance that, they've already written us off as a failure for the season.
Yeah. And I mean, there's, for some reason, people always want to talk about true fans as opposed to fake fans, I guess. And I mean, at least a true fan, it suffers through the worst of it. I think. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't leave the game if I was you know what? If it was the seventh inning and we were down by 7, I might get that head start home.
So this is where I have to tell a very quick personal story. My father, but he loved treating us like boys, like taking us to games. And there was one particular game at the stadium where we were down by several runs, and Chris, it was going into the 7th inning, and he's like, "Come on, it's over. I want to get a head start on the Deegan, beat the traffic." And so, dragged us out of the game. And guess where we were when the Yankees walked off that game? Stuck in traffic on the Deegan.
Oh, man.
So, so that's our mentality ever since, is
right.
No matter how ugly, the traffic's always going to be there. Don't to me. But it's that kind of concept, and it's very real, and I don't blame anybody for it.
No.
It's a choice, and it doesn't make you less of a fan, but just less tolerant, perhaps.
It maybe less optimistic.
Right. And I wouldn't say I'm optimistic. I mean, the numbers don't lie. We very quickly plummeted to 7 games ahead. And that's not acceptable, and that is worrisome.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, and, especially considering that we've gotten down to like 46 wins and 36 losses recently.
Yeah.
The Orioles are actually doing better than us.
Oh, my God. I got a stat about that. The Orioles have been, I think, have had the best record since May 15th or something.
Yeah, May 17th.
Here it is. In the AL East since May 17th, the Orioles have had the best record. And that's heartbreaking.
Isn't that stunning?
Yeah.
And as close as the Orioles and Jays and Rays are, and soon to be close as they are to the Yankees, they could take it all.
Right.
It's not a given anymore that it's going to be the Yankees.
No, it definitely isn't. And, here's another thing that I've been wondering about too, and I know you have also. With the team in this kind of disarray that it seems like it's in right now, it always seems a little messier when then the teams are losing. But and with the postseason approaching, what are the chances that you think that Judge will stay in New York? Are you seeing any changes of climate on that subject?
I don't think Judge would walk because of a failed season.
Okay.
He's too much of a Yankee guy.
Yeah.
I don't see him having that mentality or hubris. My concern is that if he doesn't pass the record, if he doesn't break Maris's record, he's going to have less bargaining chips.
Right.
And we're already concerned that Cashman might let him walk.
Right.
But this would basically seal the deal, and we'll lose him.
Well, and with the way the offense has been sputtering lately, Judge is not. He's the focal point of the offense. He's not getting his hits. He's not getting his home runs at the moment. The offense is just basically shut down. And I mean, as is evidenced by the fact that we've had a record number of shutouts in the last week or 2 weeks?
As recent as last night.
Okay, as recent as
night before. Yeah.
Night before, right?
Yeah.
And twice last week. I mean, Sunday night they were shut out 3-0. Monday another shutout. So, but what I think with what's happening, what we're seeing is, and what I think with Judge, there's a mentality around the Yankees right now that I find disconcerting, and that is that attitude that Cashman was spouting at the deadline when he said that basically he told Yankee fans that it was about the postseason, that the moves they made were about the future. The moves he made or he didn't make, actually, they were geared toward postseason positioning. But unfortunately, what he lost in the process was the approach. We're still 2 months out. At that time, we were 2 months out from the postseason. And, now we are down an elite lefty, although I've been going back and forth with fans who say Monty's not elite. And at the time I was thinking about this, they hadn't brought the prospects up yet. Now at least we've brought up the prospects to hopefully bring back some of that winning mentality, some of the urgency that we do not see in Cashman at the deadline, that we did not see in Cashman at the deadline.
Right. And, the other thing with Judge is he's not seeing the fastballs that he relies on.
No.
And so he has some adjustments to make, knowing that. And I'm not sure what that's going to take or what it'll involve. I believe he'll make them. And, also just in terms of the urgency, urgency comes out in different ways. And I think that this is likely a team, when you think about personalities, it's a low key urgency. They're urgent, but it's not. Where's that guy? That Gardy mentality. You knew who Gardy was in the clubhouse.
Yes.
You knew who Carpenter was in the clubhouse. Who's playing that role to really, Judge is the leader, but Judge is full on low key.
Yeah, he does not show his emotions.
No, I mean, maybe that's different in private. Who knows?
Right.
But you don't see it in the dugout until something good happens. They're not focusing on each at bat.
Yeah.
They should be up on those steps for every at bat, and making noise for whoever's on. And I see that with the other teams they go against.
Yeah.
But not from them.
And for example, we get shut out Monday night, and then we got shut out Sunday night. And then we lost on Monday, another shutout, but the lineup that day, um, the lineup before they called up the reinforcements was so like this one was such a loser lineup. Torres batting in the leadoff, Judge, Rizzo, Donaldson in the cleanup, Andujar in the cleanup spot, Benintendi, Trevino, Kiner, Falefa, and Hicks. I mean, that's the lineup that got rolled out there on a cold day, on a day when Cole was pitching. I think the Yankees have lost that Mamba mentality, that killer instinct to go out there every day and not just win the game, but to dominate in the game.
Yeah.
They have lost that domination that they had in the first half.
Right. And you spoke a second ago about prospects. Hicks should never be on the field.
No.
They could choose to eat his contract and let him be a bench warmer. A pinch runner if
Right.
someone on the team loses a leg, God forbid, being facetious, everybody. He doesn't belong in any lineup. And so, and you were talking about this, Chris, before we came on. Why bring up Florial and not use him?
Right.
And Cabrera is a covering guy. You know, it's showing out so far. He's going to be a utility player, you know, like DJ, which is great. But it's one or the other. You know, you can't have Cabrera in the outfield and infield on the same day. So why are you not playing Florial instead of Hicks, which is what we got today?
Right. And the nice thing is that, I mean, after the call up, we got lineups with the first lineup we got when they got called up, they were both in it.
Right.
And I'm trying to think what the result on that was. I forget which day it was. No, actually, that was the day Donaldson hit the walk-off, I believe.
Yes.
The day they came up.
I think so.
Yeah. So, but so that lineup looked like this: Benintendi, Judge, Torres. I mean, still Torres in the top half of the lineup. Rizzo, Donaldson, Cabrera, Trevino, Florial, Kiner, Falefa, and get this: Kiner, Falefa, and he pinch hit Hicks for Kiner, Falefa in that game. Hicks not even in the game, and he pinch hits Hicks. That's just funny to me.
It's like, oh, you know, I bought a Baby Ruth, but I really wanted a, you know, Klondike bar, and so let me go back and get that instead.
Oh my
no, it's cherry picking, it's random,
Yeah.
and and as Girardi would say, it's not what you want.
It's not what you want. No, hell no. That's such a, oh my God. Well, today's lineup, as you said, is much more interesting to me. We've got Benintendi, Judge, Rizzo, LeMahieu, which I like that top four. I mean, I don't know whether shaking it up with Benintendi in the leadoff will result in kickstarting this team. But following that, Torres, Cabrera at shortstop. Yay! Hicks again in center field. Trevino and Gonzalez in right field. I mean, what is this lineup today?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I can't even give a theory on that. Like you said, I'm good through the cleanup.
Right.
But after that, you know, but some of that has to do with what they have to work with right now too. But it leads to thinking about, well, again, had you put Florial in the lineup,
right,
you'd have Florial and Cabrera,
right,
who were both brought up for a reason.
Yep.
And you know, then Hicks, like I said just a minute ago, let him, get a splinter on the bench at this point.
Yes.
Or eat his contract and, say goodbye. Something, anything. And Hicks cares, all those things, but he just doesn't have it anymore. And it's not just a one-off, it's over time.
It isn't. And, I hate to bring this up, but he started out the season saying, I'm going to be a 30-30 man. And, he's far from that. And he's to the point where, I don't want to watch Hicks out in center field. I would much rather watch Florial get his reps and fail than watch Hicks fail as every day. Well, whatever.
Right. And again, when you have Benintendi, who, although has not been giving the contact at the plate that we would want consistently, he is proving himself out for, the bigger reason we brought him, which, is for defense. Right. And case in point, yesterday when he was climbing a wall like Spider-Man to try to get that ball and left cleat marks there. Didn't work out, but, a very clutch kind of Yankee, thing. He's hungry and he's trying. But unless we see more of that from more of them, are things really going to change?
Right.
And by far, August is the worst month for the Yankees. Frankie at Frankie's Too Loud tweeted this out yesterday. New York Yankees by month. In April, 15 wins, 6 losses. May, 19 wins, 9 losses. June, our best month. 22 wins, 6 losses. July was split evenly, 13-3. So you're starting to see the.
Yep.
And August, 4-13.
It just
4-13.
It has been painful. And you know what? The June was the funnest month.
He said, "What a time to be alive!
What a time to be alive!" I mean, and then we've had the slowdown. Now, do you think that Montas and Benintendi have really improved the team in the ways that it needed improving at the deadline? Were these guys what the Yankees needed? Have they propelled us anywhere?
Well, so the fast answer is no. I think Montas is not what he was. He was where we picked him up from.
Right.
Granted, we've only seen him on the mound a couple of times.
Yeah.
But he's not showing. There seems to be problems with his mechanics. We got a tweet from Ray Duryea that said, here's the issue with Montas. He's compensating and has changed his mechanics post injury.
Right.
And so he hasn't adjusted since then.
Yeah.
And so, no, I certainly don't think we see the Montas that we saw when he was an opponent. But we know he has the stuff. We were excited to get him. We're just not excited yet about having him.
Well, there's that. I mean, Yankee fans are not known for their patience, especially not when we've been told that the move they made were for the postseason, and then we see Montas struggling to, win over the opponents that he's come across so far, let alone be a postseason threat. And again, Montas in 3 starts with the Yankees has given up 14 runs and 14 innings pitched with 8 Ks. That's not what you want.
No.
That is not what we wanted to see. That is not what we want to say, hey, here's our postseason rotation. Right. Cole, Montas, Severino.
Nestor,
you
right.
know.
Montgomery. Oh, wait.
I know. And lest I, haven't gotten over the Montgomery trade. I will never get over it. And someday I'll stop spouting stats like these. But as opposed to Montas, in 3 starts with the Cardinals, Monty has given up 1 run in 16.2 innings pitched, has 17 Ks. So thank God we couldn't use that kind of pitcher with our.
Yeah, that was a really wise trade to win the World Series.
Yeah.
And then also we're seeing Cole, his ERA climbing, but is that about Cole or is it about the offense behind him?
Right.
And I have some numbers there. For the last 8 games, Judge's average is 148. We spoke a little bit about that.
Yeah.
For Torres, the last 19 games, 171 average. Rizzo, last 11 games, 143. LeMahieu, last 13 games, 189. And Benintendi, 192 over the last 22 games. So, and these are our reliables. So that's not helping with the high scores. The other teams are having, not getting even close to, even when we lose, getting close to the difference in the runs.
Right. Yeah, it's disconcerting that those bats have gone quiet at the same time. I mean, yes, there's injuries, but every team has injuries. How in the world does the injury situation translate into poor at bat? Well, I mean, I can understand with Stanton gone why Judge is not getting his hits as he was. I mean, the dynamics of the lineup without Stanton, without Carpenter, have significantly changed. But still, I mean, Rizzo has, people are not talking about that. They don't want to hear that Rizzo's batting. What'd you say?
It was one. Let me go back up to
43 or something.
143.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
right. And this is over recent stretches for all of them under 200.
I mean, my question is, can the Yankees right this ship? Can they do this with Boone at the helm? Is Boone the answer to the problems that plague the Yankees right now? Does he know the answers?
Well, clearly not. And when we say, does Boone know the answers, does it mean that it's really Cashman who doesn't know the answers, and is Boone, the microphone for them?
Right.
But I do think, and this has always been the complaint about Boone, is that he's too defensive instead of being like transparently reflective.
Yes.
After games. And, last night, you could understand why he was angry, but to bite off Meredith Marakovitz's head,
yes,
is not a good thing to do.
No.
And it was really about, and I'm sure it sucks to be getting the same questions, but then have better answers when they ask them.
You're reading my mind.
And, and he's not going to have those and he did say, we just have to fix it.
Yep.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
But, how about some information on the plan for how you're going to fix it?
Exactly.
And is he like that in the clubhouse after? I don't know. We see only what we could see.
Right.
We see him out there, willingly getting thrown out and arguing the balls and strikes.
Yeah.
But so what? You're not seeing any outcome on the field with your best guys.
Right.
Who, are MVPs, All-Stars, Gold Glove, and look how even they are performing.
Right. I mean, Brian Hope quoted Aaron Boone saying, "We should be ticked off right now. We need to start playing better, plain and simple." Well, and Caddy Boy responded to that. Also, Aaron Boone, IKF, sit down, Hicks, grab a bat, because that's the kind of managerial move that we're used to seeing from Boone. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't seem to be responding to the need for better play
No.
or better players to play them, the
No.
positions, or to get the hits. I've never been a Boone fan myself. I've always thought that he was rather inarticulate, that he is not a man who expresses himself well, or and now that he is going through a rough patch, his anger, the fact that he becomes angry and lashes out at Meredith or someone like Meredith, where is, like you said, where is your sense of gamesmanship? I think of baseball when I think of a manager as like a chess master, like a grandmaster. What's your move, Boone?
Right now, all he is a grocery shopper.
Yeah.
He's
right, exactly.
He's saying Triscuits or Townhouse crackers. Today, I feel like the Townhouse crackers.
Yankee source, yeah, and the Yankee source said something interesting about Boone. They said bringing back Boone was a big mistake. Now, not sure how they can manage to win under him unless they create a perfectly healthy and flawless roster.
Which is never going to happen in any team anywhere ever.
But I will mention that is what they had in May and June, is we had a roster without injury, without major injury to our rotation or our major position players
right.
At that time. And so for a while, Boone looked like a genius.
Right.
And I think that while is long, the time where that was the case is long past. I don't believe he knows why they win. I don't believe Boone knows why they lose. And I don't believe he knows how to motivate this team out of the slump.
And we've been saying that all along. The whole fan base has been saying that all along.
Right.
He's never going to be manager of the year.
Nope.
And maybe they should be taking a look at having him down himself in AAA or AA.
I know. Well, that's enough ranting for today. Lynn, I know you've got a trivia question for us. Shoot it off.
Okay, so here we go. Which Yankee was the first MLB rookie to win the home run derby during the All-Star game?
I like this question.
So I'm not even going to give the choices.
Okay.
I think that I consider this kind of like a gift.
Ah, yes.
I'll repeat again. Which Yankee was the first MLB rookie to win the home run derby during an All-Star game?
Good question. Good question. And my final thoughts on the day, weren't the Yankees on pace to win like 116 games? They're going to be lucky now to win 95 games. Because as Dr. Michael Albert said, they need to win 23 of the next 45 games they play to accomplish that. Lynn, what is your prediction for coming out of the slump or moving forward?
Well, give me a minute because you just brought tears to my eyes. I'm trying not to let them fall. Unfortunately, 95 seems a practical prediction.
Yeah.
I pray to be surprised. 116 is lost. Even though I'm not a math girl, I don't think that's mathematically possible at this point.
Right.
To the extent that I'm worried that we're going to be, wild card.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
Going with what we know now.
Yeah.
And slippage, knowing we're facing the Mets with DeGrom and Scherzer on the hill.
Exactly.
And the way the Mets have been producing overall,
Yeah.
And then we have the A's after that. You know, at least we're at home, but it's Dom and it's Scherzer.
Yep.
And we've already used Nestor and Cole and Tyone.
Right.
So, which means likely Montas and Herman.
Right. So, I mean, we got to hope that they pull themselves up by their bootstraps. That's about all we have time for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
And as always, you'll always have a reserved seat right here on the currently shaking upper deck. But go Yankees.
Go Yankees.